Boom, boom. How's it going? How's it going? Welcome aboard. This is TJ from M5 Property Addicts, hosting the M5 Successful Friends. And today I've got a good friend of the M5, and he is someone that I've met in the industry, farming, looking for properties. And when I actually met this guy here called Edmore Chitokomere, I was actually looking for some opportunities, and he literally took his day out, half a day out, and that was my first time of meeting him. And we met. He was presenting himself as a sales agent there, and he had a few opportunities. But I just wanted us to understand who this guy is, because we're always talking about, you know, having people in your network. So who are these people? I am bringing you Edmore Chitokomere. Eddie, how are you? Welcome aboard.
Thanks, DJ. Thanks for the invite. Much appreciated.
Okay, good. Eddie, what do you do? Who are you? We have journeyed now a little bit of a journey over the years that we've been talking. Some days we are super quiet, and some days we talk quite a lot. And I've actually not recently, but now I know that you actually own a company and you do cool things. So who are you? What do you do?
All right. So I am the principal of Burman Properties.
Right.
So literally, principal. It's a little bit technical to most people. So what literally means that I'm the managing director of a real estate company called Burman Properties.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
So you, I mean, I don't know, maybe you just left school and then boom, you became the managing director of this company, Burman Properties. But where are you from? How did it all start for you to be in this space? Let's just talk about your early days into real estate. How did you actually just get into the taste of real estate? You know, when you left school, were you like some of us who were, you know, smoking weed on the corner? How did you get here?
It's a long story, but I'll try
Yeah.
to make it as short as possible. Luckily enough, actually, I started real estate at school. I actually did a program called Valuation in Estate Management. So apparently, I'm a qualified valuer. You know, I'm a qualified portfolio manager and all those kind of nice things. So
Right.
most of my college mates, they're all in corporate, they're employed in corporate. But for me, in my life, I was only employed for 3 years. Then I left. We're talking way back in 2004 to start working as an estate agent.
You said you were employed for how long?
3 months.
For 3 months.
Yeah.
Hey, back in the days, that's just like probation. So you didn't survive probation.
You know what? I didn't wait for the result of probation. I left.
Okay.
You know, without even the result of probation. You know.
Right.
So like I said, I studied property management. So I was actually in the commercial space, doing commercial properties. Then on the desk 9 to 5. And imagine, it's very funny. I was about 23 years old at that time.
Right.
But that's when I realized to say this is not for me, and I left. That's when I started selling properties.
Okay. How did you start selling properties? How did that journey transpire from you being employed? You're a qualified evaluator, and obviously you can work for a bank or whatever the company is.
Yes.
And you can become an evaluator. You know, you don't have to worry about going out there to look for properties. They just come to you and you evaluate and you get paid. But you left that at a young age and you decide, well, I want to be a sales agent. What made you change your mind?
Do you know what? It's I don't know if I would say I was lucky or I was confident enough at that early age to follow my heart. You know, most people it's very difficult to, most people, they go to work, which they don't like, and they're stuck there in the cubicle 9 to 5 for 20 years. But for me, I was just lucky that at that early age, I felt that it was not for me, and I was lucky enough to leave the industry earlier. So, like I always say to people, that I'm a qualified valuer, I'm a qualified portfolio manager, but I never practiced as a valuer in my life. I never been a portfolio manager in my life. All what I know is selling properties. So yeah, like I just said, it's lucky that I managed to find my passion at an early age.
Yeah. So, Eddie, you speak about this passion, right? And for many of us, it's actually, I don't know whether where I am right now, this is my passion, but it is my passion today. And whether it will sustain me for the rest of my life as a passion, or whether it will change, I don't know. When you're saying it's a passion, you left your I mean, you went to school and your parents paid for school fees, and there you are. You just decide that doesn't happen at my mother's house, her house. And if my parents were set up on, this is what you're going to do, that's exactly what's going to happen. How did you navigate that predicament? Because I mean, you're just young, right? You're just coming out of school, and then you're picking up a different direction of versus what you have learned. And for a lot of us, we just told, or we believe that what you are told to learn is what you become.
Yeah, that's a good question, but when I look at it again, it was mainly for the reason my parents were not really much involved in my career choice,
Yeah.
so it was a little bit flexible to me, so they were not much involved in it. So that's why it was a little bit easier. I would understand that every parent should get worried to say, you've done real estate, go and work in a bank, go be a valuer, go and work for this big corporation. And for me, I just left to join a one-man company at that time, So it was, again, I guess I was like that. My parents were not that much involved
Yeah.
in my early career.
Right. But where did it come from, Eddie? We grow up and we don't know astronauts until we start seeing them on the TV. And now we start to aspire that, oh, actually, you can be an astronaut. Um, or we grow up, knowing that there's a farmer down the road. So you grow up not wanting to be a farmer because you're always seeing them looking the way that they look as farmers, but now you actually don't know there's a business behind it. So people shun away from it. So what we see is what we become, or what we see is what we want to become or not want to become. But for you, how did the real estate actually just resonate?
So I think the main reason, or the most important thing which happened at that early age, I'm trying to find the proper English word for hustler. So
Yeah,
I started hustling, survival. It was all about money. So I was so impatient to wait to go up the ladder to say, oh, I started intern commercial property manager. I was earning X amount, and then so I think I was impatient to wait for my turn to go up the corporate ladder. So I
yeah.
decided to take the shortcuts to money. You know what? It has not been so the way, but it was mainly about survival. When I left that, and saw the opportunity in real estate as a sales agent.
Okay.
So I had an opportunity to make way more money. And you know what? I was actually lucky to um, the point, we would tell our friends, the chartered accountants, to say, you know what, guys, keep your money for you. That's how much money we're making.
Right. Okay. So it was for the money for you. I mean, it was money for you that lured you into real estate. But I'm just trying to think now. There you are in it for the money, and then somehow along the ways you find your passion, right? Is there money in property? How long have you been at it now?
Over 15 years, man. Over 15 years now.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, about 15 years. I started very, and I spent quite of years in Zimbabwe, and then I went to Dubai for 2 years, and now in South Africa I'm here for about 11 years now.
Okay. And all of this, when you were in all of these places that you've been, you were just doing property, selling properties.
Yes, that's all what I know. That's all what I've been doing. So I want to put you into perspective to say around 2014, 2015, things were not moving at all in our business. I even started looking for a job, and believe me, I got a job, and I was at the 65,000 rand salary a month, you know.
Yeah.
And but I went through the contract. I went through the time, and I realized it was not for me still.
Wow. Right. Now, Eddie, so you've done. How did you get into becoming an estate agent? What was your first job looking like? Because now you say you're a principal. Principal, the way I understand, is in an organization, you are the bucket kind of like stops with you. You hold the license for that company, and obviously 15 years ago you were not in this space. How did you get to become a principal? How did it all start?
So when I look at that, it was actually happened by mistake, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I was employed in one of these corporate real estate companies in South Africa.
Right.
And I'm trying to make it as short as possible to say there was a misunderstanding with that company, you know. So when I told them that I'm leaving, they thought that I'm joking. Yeah. But I never thought that I would leave. I never thought that I would start my own company. But, I was forced to make that decision of the situation. So if you know in the big corporation, in the big real estate companies, they give you what is called a farming. So they will say you are an agent for signing here, or you represent X company, right?
Right.
So what happens is that they gave me in the same area where I was working. I've done very, very well. I established a market share in the area, and then they forced a partner on me to say, you know what, your area is too big. You need to start working with this partner. So that's how I left corporate. Then I left, and then I went to start our own business.
Okay. What does it take actually to be a principal? Because for one to start, I mean, if I just look at myself, can I just become a principal?
Okay, so when I'm gonna take you through again. Even when I'm training our interns, it's a training for the whole day, you know. So I'll try to summarize the 24-hour, the 10-hour, 1 minute. Okay.
Right.
So what happens is that for you to enter real estate, anybody can enter real estate, but it's about what we want to achieve because you can enter real estate with matric, right?
Yeah.
And then when you are in real estate, you need to serve 1 year as an intern, estate agent at a company.
Yeah.
While you are doing your 1 year intern, you need also to do what they call NQ4 real estate, right? You're gonna do your logbook. So in the first year, you are doing your 12 months compulsory internship. You should do your logbook in that 12 months. You should do your NQ4 real estate in that year. So
Right.
after the end of those 12 months, right? After the end of those 12 months, after passing your logbook, after passing your NQ4, then you get upgraded so that you can be able to write PDE4, Professional Designation Examination 4. That's a board exam by the Estate Agents Affairs Board.
Right.
After you write that exam, then you become a PPR, you know, professional practitioner in real estate. Now you're an estate agent. But if you
Yeah.
want to be a principal, or if you want to own or run a business, you need to go further and do NQ5 real estate. Then after passing it, you need to go ahead and also do board exam, what is called PDE5, and then you can become a principal.
Okay. Interesting. I didn't know all of that, and thanks for the education. But I've also seen on your signatures when you send me an email, sometimes it says master practitioner. What does that mean?
Oh yes, yes. So what happens is that after you write and pass PDE4, you become property practitioner in real estate. So after passing that exam,
Yeah.
you now can use those pronominals PPRE. So after passing in PDE4, you become a master practitioner in real estate. Yes, so that's why you see MPRE on my signature and on my business card.
Okay. All right. Great. As an individual, for you, all of this credentials that you and accolades that you've now got, what do they do for you? What benefits do they bring onto the table for you?
Do you know? Um, I have only studied for me to be able to practice legally. If I had an option, I wouldn't have studied. Okay. So basically
That's a
for me,
mindset of a hustler.
you know what? But that's being honest with you. To say, you know what? For me, reading is not much for me. So I just have to read for me to be able to run our business professionally and legally. You
Right.
know. So yeah, you know, it's so what it does for me right now, it has done a lot of things actually, because they give me a lot of opportunities, and at the moment as well, I'm able to help other people who want to start their companies and they cannot start because, you know, like real estate is a professional industry. It's like a audit. You can't start an audit firm if you're not an auditor. So
Right.
I'm also helping other colleagues who want to be estate agents, and then they can employ me to be their principal. Then they can be able to operate and then be able to give themselves time to study and also
All
as a
right.
principal.
Okay. So, are you saying that when you're helping other people there, so I can, if I think that, real estate is for me and I want to become an estate agent, I've got an area that I want to be specializing in, maybe Santon or whatever the case is, and I can then come to you as a master practitioner or someone who's a principal. So I employ you. Obviously, you give me the do's and the don'ts, the training. I become an intern, and out of that, I kind of like run my area under your direction. And is this how it works in estate agent?
Oh, okay. Not exactly. Okay. There's two ways. Let me actually focus on the way to say for us as a business, right?
Right.
We actually employ or hire people who want to be estate agents, and we
Sure.
allocate them a specific area to work on, right?
Right.
So it's not everybody. Even now in our business, we've got other people who close their businesses to come and join us. It's not very easy. I understand as a business person, it's not very easy business because of overheads and all that. So in most cases, we focus mainly on employees instead of people who want to sell or do rentals of properties. That's what mainly focus on. So you come join our organization, give you a specific area to work in, and then you work. It's a different situation of someone who wants to start their own business, you know.
Yes. Yes. Right. So, Eddie, coming back to you, I'm glad that you've just indicate to us how the business runs and how actually one can just become an estate agent. I kind of like see people saying that, hey, I want to be an estate agent and all of those things. And then I also meet other investors who are wanting to say, I want to become an estate agent so that I can get good deals. And I am of the fact that no, really, you just need to have an Eddie on your side. Because from the day that I met you, Eddie, you kind of like work with investors, with people that understand the risk associated with property and things like that. Why have you chosen to work with investors rather than just, working with normal people that are looking for a house, first-time home buyers? Why is that your niche? Because that's what I see when I look at you. Or each time when you present a deal to me, it's much it's better baked than the estate agents that I deal with in other areas. Why is that so? Because you seem to have a better understanding of working with an investor.
All right. So the main reason why, and if you realize, is I specialize in Joburg CBD only because I've been working in that market for the last 10 years. When I came to South Africa, that's the market where they put in. So over years, I managed to establish myself there, and then that's how I get good deals. That's how I get the big deals. And then when it comes to investment, that's actually the reason why I remember I've done very, very well in town, even when we're selling single units. You would realize that probably, I don't want to put a percentage of it. Let me put it this way to say some of the estate agents, like you already mentioned, to say they don't even know the formula of how to calculate yield. So I think that's where that education comes back to say, it was not, my parents did not waste money for me to
Yeah,
be able to help you properly because now I understand, I know how to read a cash flow, I understand how to read income statement. So that's how I know how to calculate yield, return on investment, all those kind of things.
yeah,
So that's actually the things we learned in school as part of the proper investment.
yeah. And these are the most. I mean, you speak of those two components in a deal, and those are the critical ones, right? When one is actually doing property investments, like the many people that I work with. Um, so having worked with investors, from your side as an estate agent, you are always wanting to save the investor. What are the challenges that you see working with individuals like me as an estate agent? Because you always wearing that estate agent hat where you're thinking about, you want to put in some money on the table. But in the same breath, you're also trying to save me as an investor and please me as a customer. But you also have another customer who is the person who's actually selling. How do you balance that?
That's exactly, it takes a lot of skill and experience for you to be able to do that deal.
Yeah,
We said for us at the end of the day, we want to do win-win-win deal.
right.
I win as an estate agent, you win as an investor, and the seller also should be able to win. So that's where the whole skill of negotiation comes in to say, you know what, all of us, we need to find each other, we need to find the common ground. And that is exactly my duty. That is exactly my job as an estate agent. So that's why I was trying to convince you to sign on that deal when I was doing the numbers for you. And at the end of the day, I want to make sure that you achieve the numbers you wanted, you're gonna get the yield you wanted. At the same time as well, the owner is managed to achieve what he wanted to achieve, especially if they have to still pay the mortgages and all that. So yes, it takes a lot of skill. It takes a lot of sales skill. It takes a lot of sales negotiation skill actually for you to be able to broker that deal. That's exactly where the name comes in as a broker.
All right. Now, is there any deal that Eddie, you can take us through where you're working with an investor together with the seller, and you can just describe it maybe from a numbers perspective, as an
Mm.
example of exactly what you've just mentioned. that you can just walk us through, and we can see the numbers of what did the investor actually walk away with, and what did the seller actually walked away with, and it was a win-win, like you are mentioning.
Okay. So you know what happens for me? I categorize my investors in three categories. There are investors who invest for yield only,
Right.
who are more interested in yield, like yourself.
Yes. Yeah. If
And
anything else
then
don't matter.
there are other investors, and then there are other investors who are interested in capital growth,
Right.
and others who would go in. So when we look at, and there are other people who are rich one just for teach to say they'll buy one. So when we look, I'll give an
So I didn't hear
example of
the third
a
part.
couple of
So I
deals
had the first, the
I have.
second, what? Which one is the third one? So you get the yield guy, and then
Okay,
you
so
got
let
the
me
capital
repeat
one.
again. Yes, and then like I said, so basically it's the investors who are looking for yield only, right?
Right.
And
Right.
then the others who need a bit of both. And then there are other people who invest for capital growth. Most investors who want to invest in the capital growth market are basically your rich people.
Sure.
So like I said, the
So it
rich
is
people
obvious I'm
now,
not
they're
rich here.
do you know what?
Yeah.
Do you know how it takes? It's always different to say you start something on your own today. Your third generation will be richer. So there are other people who have been onto it. They are 50-year generation into wealth. Those are the people
Sure.
now who just buy for prestige, to say they don't look at the yield, they just buy, like an example I gave you for Michelangelo, to say they just buy to say I've got a unit in Michelangelo. They don't look at the yield anymore.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
And then let me go back to you to say the investors who invest for yield. I want to take you through a quick, straightforward deal. There's this old man in Hillbrow. He was struggling to sell his property for years and years, and most estate agents actually doesn't want to work in that area.
Yeah.
He contacted me and say, you know what, I can sell this property for you. He wanted 170,000 for his property. I
Right.
got him 170,000 for property. Then I found an investor, and then I said, you know what, this deal, you need about 30,000 rand to renovate this unit,
Right.
and then I can easily rent this unit out for you for 6,000 rand.
My man.
So there it is. I did a deal. Then I made a deal for somebody to earn 30% yield on a single deal.
Why was I not involved in a simple deal like this one?
Do, do you know what? I think next time we need to communicate better, because I thought you are more interested in the bigger ones. Yeah?
For sure. I've moved away from small units, and the only reason why
Yes,
I've
yes.
moved away from small units is that I I do not want the body corporate to put rules and regulations upon me. I want to be the body corporate. So control for me and the company, M5 Property Addicts, it's very important, because you leave a lot of money on the table. But I mean that deal that you've just spoken about, that's an exceptional deal, depending as well on which part of Hillbrow it is. But thanks very much on explaining that deal to us, Eddie. Now, Eddie, you've got a company actually. That's just the company that you own. You run Burman Properties. What services do you guys offer? So I speak to you all the time. I've never spoken to one of your interns. When I see something that I like, when you send stuff, I always come to you. So you're my go-to guy. And I've also seen your boards everywhere across in and around Johannesburg. So what does the company what have you now evolved to become in today's life? Are you just selling properties? You tell us.
Yes, we are a real estate company. We specialize in property sales and rentals. That's our main focus. Then we also do property administration. So if guys you buy a block of flat, an administrator or a property manager, the way how you call it, we also for investors.
Right.
Also, we are now we involved into sectional title and homeowners association management. So you have a board corporate. We also do sectional title management. You know, that's mainly our duties. Now we're trying to evolve into project management, and now we want to get into these deals as investors ourselves. You know, looking for partnership, and so we involve now into project management and the like. But we haven't done much in the project management sector.
Okay. But why do you want to go into the ownership space? I mean, you're currently in the servicing space, and now you want to double up. Why are you seeing that need for you? Yeah, for the long term.
Yes, I'm saying for the long term, property is always the the right. It is probably most arguably the only investment which can guarantee your hedge against inflation.
Okay.
Like most people, you know, like I'm starting to get a lot of inquiries now of people panicking now after this COVID-19. Most people lost money in the stock market, you know.
Yeah.
Myself, I started in the stock market a long time ago as well, and I lost a lot of money out of it. So that's why now I'm going the direction of property.
Right. Okay, good. Eddie, it's been awesome having you around. At Burman, where you say that you are generally in and around Johannesburg. So are you just Johannesburg based? And do you manage in and around Johannesburg? But what is your area coverage look
Okay. We are not a franchise. We own our company wholly, so we're not a franchise.
Yeah.
We can be anywhere we want to be. But currently, just now, we have in something. So yeah, we have actually available to expand. But for now, we only have got one office in Sandton.
Okay. All right. So you're Sandton based. You operate in and around Johannesburg. Awesome stuff. Eddie, it's been great having you around. We're going to put your website and your details in the show notes for anyone else who is wanting to get in contact with some of your services. But they should know that you are my guy for deals, right? And all the deals comes through to me. But yeah, so Eddie, you got an amazing story of how you actually started off in your real estate and how you've now built your business. By the way, are you at liberty to share how many properties you're currently now managing?
In terms of, okay, let's start with we can go with categories to say sectional title management. We've got about 11 buildings which we are managing.
Good.
And then we go to property administration, single units. We are very much close to 100 now, single units under our management.
Right.
Like I was telling you that offline to say, you know, luckily enough of the COVID-19, 70% of our tenants are still paying rent. You know, some percentage is paying 50%, and a few of our clients, unfortunately, they were retrenched and all that.
Right.
And yeah, so when it comes to sectional title management and when it comes to property administration, that's our portfolio.
Good. You've well done on that. You're doing well for a young man like you. So you're doing great there. Thanks a lot, Ed, for hanging out with us. And yeah, we're looking forward to be doing more deals. We're looking forward to seeing you more in the market, farming, and doing all the great things. Any closing comments that you'd like to give, Eddie, to someone who's just left matric, someone who's just tired of what they're doing currently, and their passion is in real estate, right? Irrespective of where they are in life, whether they have money or no money, and they're wanting to start. What's your tip?
They want to join real estate. They want to be investors or to work
being
as
an
estate agent.
Okay. Estate agent.
So what? Even we read a beautiful story last year of an estate agent who was one of the best estate agents in the Midrand area who didn't have a car. So it's all about the drive. It's all about the passion. It's all about hard work. It doesn't matter whether you've got the car or not. So the most important ingredient when we interviewing agent is drive and hard work, the passion. That's the most important element to an estate agent. So anybody can be an estate agent, but to work very hard. I always say to my intern estate agents to say that when we were growing up, we all wanted to be quantity surveyors and lawyers and what. But most of us did not make the marks to be lawyers. And it is real estate which gives you that second life to say, you can be an estate agent with matric and you can earn as much as someone with a master's degree who is an economist somewhere, or even who is still not even employed.
Right. That's a good one. Eddie, good having you around. Thanks a lot. God bless. Cheers. Bye.
Yes, cheers. Bye.